On September 13th, we had a new Nintendo Direct, and during that Nintendo Direct, we had some really awesome announcements. But for some reason, people just keep wanting to complain. Let's talk about why. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to all of my subscribers, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that button. As I mentioned before, on September 13th, we had a new Nintendo Direct. During that Nintendo Direct, we had a bunch of new games announced, a lot of really cool things announced, but for some reason, everybody wants to just focus on the negative. We saw some awesome footage for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Wolfenstein and Doom are coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is huge. If we continue to see other third-party developers bringing games over to the Nintendo Switch, this console will be a huge success for Nintendo. With that being said, as we see more and more third-party support, we're also seeing more and more games requiring more storage. On the Nintendo Switch itself, it only has 32 gigabytes of storage space, and a couple of gigabytes of that space is already dedicated to the Nintendo Switch for its user interface. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, well, why is that? Because I thought the games come on the cartridge, and they do, but for some certain games, the gigabyte size is too large for the game cartridges, as they only come in 8 gig, 16 gig, and 32 gig from Nintendo. If a game requires more storage than that, or if you have to have any space dedicated for your save files, such as Doom, where they are putting the single player mode of the game on the cartridge and having you download the multiplayer from the internet. And since you are doing it that way, it does require you to have a SD card. And that is where the complaints come in. So most people are upset that they have to buy an SD card to put into their Nintendo Switch. I don't know about you, but I have been playing games for a very, very long time, and ever since the PlayStation 1, I have had to buy memory for almost every single console that I have ever had. So to hear people complaining about something so minor like an SD card for the Nintendo Switch, it really perplexes me. On the PlayStation 1, you had to buy a memory card in order to save your games. On the PlayStation 2, the same case. The only other consoles that I can think of that I've never had to buy a memory unit for are probably NES or Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Obviously, there are more consoles out there that don't require you to have a memory card or an external memory unit, but to complain about something so minor like an SD card when you pay so many hundreds of dollars for something like an iPhone and you only pay $300 for your Nintendo Switch, that really kind of doesn't make any sense. So basically, it is okay to pay somewhere over $700 for an iPhone and have only up to 64 gigs of space, but if you buy a Nintendo Switch and you have to buy an SD card separately, which by the way, you can get a 128 gigabyte SD card for only $13 on Amazon. Granted, that is for a generic version of an SD card, not a name brand version, but regardless, it works the same. And given the fact that most games don't even require this, almost every single game that I have had for the Nintendo Switch so far has not required any sort of SD card space or any external memory at all. The first instance of me even hearing about this was for NBA 2K18 that just released. Since the games aren't as large as something like a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, which by the way, I've had to buy an external hard drive for both of those consoles, I really don't see this being a very big issue at all, especially when the Nintendo Switch is able to handle up to 2 terabytes of space from a micro SD card. I have only seen an SD card up to about 400 gigabytes of space, which can get pretty pricey, but as more sizes come out, the bigger sizes do become cheaper. And like I said before, you can also go generic and buy a SD card for a much larger size for a lower price if you don't get that name brand slapped on there. But this is just how I feel about the situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you really feel like this is a big issue for the Nintendo Switch? Do you guys think that the Nintendo Switch should have larger gigabyte size models coming out, or do you think that they should bundle it with an SD card already? So like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Make sure to leave a like, share, do all that great stuff. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that as well. This has been Rax the Great, and I appreciate everybody who checks out the videos and has supported. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys on the next video.